Pro-Turn, Gravely, Pro-Turn 160, commercial. Transmission, fluid and filter, change procedure. Coming up. Okay, changing out the oil, transmission oil and filter, transmission fluid and filter for Gravely 160. First thing you do is take off your oil filter cover. Okay? Jack it up, get it up, be able to get under it. Take off your oil filter cover. That's the first thing you do. You got two of them, one on each side. Okay. I've already removed and replaced one of the oil transmission fluid filters, and it says right there hydro gear, and that tag right there says hydro gear, so it's all hydrostatic, so to speak. So anyway, I'm fixing to take that filter off, and just by taking the filter off and leaving the cap off of the reservoir, it seemed and appeared to have drained all of the fluid out. And there's a reservoir up there with a pipe down to the transmission. The cap's off. Take that oil filter off right there, that fluid filter off right there, and it will drain. Drain your transmission fluid into a jug, pan, something. Just don't put it out in the environment. I got one loose right there with the oil filter cover off, oil filter backed out. And of course, you want to, before you start doing this, you want to open the caps, the filler caps on your reservoirs, which is right up there. Take your filler caps off so that it can drain, so that it can get air, and it'll drain right on down through here. And they tell you in the book about a drain plug, and that there is where the reservoir pipe goes in. So whoever created that book didn't know what he's talking about. We've taken the filter off. There you can see it's draining into a jug. And again, there's your reservoir up there with the pipe coming down to the transmission. Filters off, and the oil is draining. Okay. Take your new oil filters, put a little oil on that rubber gasket before you put it on. Get that oil, get that gasket wet with oil so it'll seat and seal. Okay, here's what none of the books or instructions or manuals tell you. On this Gravely 160, after you put everything back, fill up your reservoir right here to put your transmission fluid and oil back in it, and it won't go nowhere. If you don't take that plug out right there so as it can get air, so as the oil can get down in there, nothing, it won't happen. Nothing tells you to take that plug out right there. Take the plug out, your oil will drain into your transmission. If you don't do that, it ain't gonna happen. The right side is a little bit more difficult. Mainly it's more difficult to get that plug out right there because of the belts and the cables and all that stuff. It's more difficult to get to. But once you get that plug out right there, the oil, transmission fluid, whatever you want to call it, will just simply flow right in. The transmission fluid or oil, GT1 High Performance Liquid Titanium by Kendall, is what Gravely gave me to use for transmission fluid. 20W50, which is what the book calls for.
done. Looks like everything's as it should be. Everything works as it should work. Like it gravely should.